all kinds of social media now. What it's about is bringing different types of communication together. So that experience right now is very, very doable. In fact, museums now are really digital. Are more people can visit museums now more with digital than in person, you know. And I've been trying to get the museum out there in Maywood, get those lovely ladies out there to let me digitize everything, because it's all in photos, and you know they scared of technology, you know. But but the history that you're talking about
before I leave
can be recorded the same way that they're recording us now with the digital cameras. You see, and it can take place, and then you upload it, put it right on inside of a blog or a site, creatively create. That's what you've heard of Second Life. That's what Second Life is all about. And as a matter of fact, I was involved with some pioneers in Second Life when that came out. So you can do that now, but our community is just way behind on recognizing what's taking place in the social media. And in my opinion, as an early adopter, there are reasons for that. I think the prime reason for that, I'm not going to go into why, but our selfishness as African Americans, the selfishness that we develop, and like working alone and not helping each other. Social media is the antithesis of that. Social media is about adding value. I got to help you out 5 or 6 times before I can even sell you a product. That's the psychology of social media, and it works. It develops me as someone that you trust, as an expert. So we don't really understand what's taking place. You know, we're holding it too close to the vest. That's why meetings like this are crucial in every community, every neighborhood, every organization. I've been saying this for years. As a matter of fact, Laurie Taylor, about 8 or 9 years ago, I was on the west side and with Bob Vendrasic and some more people, and I think Randall Hall for Livingston, and they had these techies there, and they were talking about open source, Linux, whatnot, and these sisters, old sisters, were sitting in there, and these people were talking about Linux, man, open source, you know, and I explained. I said, well, we can communicate with Yahoo. I said, that's what people know how to use. You know, they know how to use Hotmail and all this, you know. Ain't nobody but a geek gonna learn Linux. You know, as a matter of fact, even WordPress can be a little difficult. You know, now a lot of people would debate me with that, but I'm an early adopter, man. I followed this. We need to be using Blogger from Google so we can get in the game. You see, it doesn't need to be complicated, but I'm going off and off. The point I'm saying is that we can make that history happen. This is so much history up in here. And I hear Brother Curtis talk about his family. So this needs to, when we discussed this before, I mentioned Brother Curtis with the DeSable Museum, which is a great example. If all the museums right now in France or in New York, all the top museums now, they're digital. They're digitized. So people can actually. So here's what. Let's just say the little museum in Maywood. All I got to do is go in there and just digitize, and then for those brothers and sisters who are alumni from Maywood, man, they'd go in their pocket, man, in a minute. If we just digitize that information about their families and about the history of Maywood, it's the greatest fundraiser that you can have, you know. And yet they're scared to open it up because people may steal it. That's what it's about, stealing it right now. You see, so we're misunderstanding. So we need to have conversations on the social media. There are no more people that know it all. It's just everything now is about interactivity, and the knowledge comes from the group. The knowledge comes from the conversations that we have, but we need to have them. We just need to have them. I thank you so much, Brother Curtis, for having this, because this needs to be every week. But now what keeps it together is social media. So you should be having a weekly teleseminar updating what's going on with everything. See, just that conversation. You don't need to meet physically. You know, so that should be happening. And that there's a free website called Rondi. You can do that on Rondi, R-O-N-D-E-E, and it lets you record it. You know, and so you can do that. And the good thing about, and that's essentially a podcast. The good thing about a podcast, you can do a 15-minute show, because what you can do is talk about, you know, we did a show when I was on VON, remember, Omar, and that was a groundbreaking show. We talked about the contractors in Atlanta. In Atlanta, you were talking the history of that. I still got that tape, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from WVON years ago on the Painters Workshop. But the point I'm saying is that, so within that half an hour, if you had a show, then in that half an hour, or that 15 minutes, you could do 10 minutes just talking about everything that you wanted, and the other 5 minutes you could mention 15 sponsors and get paid. So the innovation that happens with this, you're always marketing, because everything is about marketing now. It is about,
you know, I think you're absolutely right, and I saw you had the blog on, cause I bought one for my daughter. It cost a couple $100 to do a 2-hour video.
The blogging?
Yeah, the blogging.
Good move.
Yeah,
good move.
I bought one for my daughter. Sony,
yeah, oh,
yeah,
man.
just hit the
He
mark.
got one. He got. I told
just
him.
hit.
And I got it because of him.
Right, and it holds like 2 hours
It was
worth of
2
video
hours,
time.
2 hours.
Yeah, I know. See, but anyway, you're absolutely right about that. The problem with us, and for the older class, is that we believe what we see.
Yeah.
You see, like you got the video in this, it's good if we had a cable hooked up TV or a site where we can actually see what we did this week, see it next week.
Yes, sir.
And understand the magnitude of the output from the people that will be receiving it all over the country, over the world web. You follow what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Because see, once they see that, it resonates with you. But just to tell it to some guys that's kind of,
they don't look at email though. See, that's the.
I understand that, but the reason why is because we haven't been taught. You got to understand, it's like elementary. We haven't been taught to deal with it as a young intellectual high school student. But that's in the electronic state.
So
you follow what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with the older class, you got to kind of show them it and show them the value of it. And then they say, oh, I got it.
I'm only hearing half of that.
Especially once they get a call saying, I need to talk to that man that was talking about that before. They want to talk to him, they say, hey, that's worth something.
In our creation, if I can say it, we start off from a single sperm before it hits.
Germinate. That's right.
And in that sense, in that sperm, there's intelligence. But that sperm, as it starts to evolve into something bigger and better, there's ultimately a central nervous system that is created. In that central nervous system, if I feel pain right here, it sends it where it needs to go. And I'm able to, if there's something attacking my finger, I can deal with it. In Maywood, on the south side, if we had a central nervous system that could say, well, okay, there's a problem here in terms of R, and we get some response, not just in the city of Chicago, around the state, around the country, around the globe. In that sense of what you're saying, I've never really seen the importance of, but as you're sitting here and you're speaking about it, I'm glad this is videotaped, because as Brother Omar said, if it's put on next week, well, we know that there are those who like to work against our success, who are sometimes able to, in real time, hamper that. Well, we're giving the opportunity to those who would help us, but even still, those who would like to hamper, we're already a week ahead in terms of
exactly
planning.
Right. So we got to do this. We got to do this because we already see in the social media realm, it's about pushing forward, making it happen. Don't be so scared.